in their despair, these teachers confess before the world their work of deception. The day is coming, reckoning day is coming. She continues saying, the multitudes are filled with fury. We are lost, they cry, and you are the cause of our ruin. And they turn upon the false shepherds. The very ones that once admired them most will pronounce the most dreadful curses upon them. The very hands that once crowned them with laurels will be raised for their destruction. The swords which were to slay God's people. Interesting that she uses the word swords. The swords which were to slay God's people are now employed to destroy their enemies. Everywhere there is strife and bloodshed. Let me ask you, what happened at the French Revolution? Did you have a small-scale model of this event in the French Revolution? What did this beast, this sea beast, do during the 1260 years? It used the state to persecute and kill everyone who was not in harmony with it. Is that true or is that not true? It is absolutely true. All you have to do is punch into the computer Inquisition, and that'll give you all of the gory details of how the church used the state to persecute those who were not in harmony with the church. Well, the fact is, folks, that what happened in 1798 is that actually even before, during the French Revolution, the people said, we're not going to put up with this anymore. In other words, the lid of the pressure cooker blew off because the people had been so oppressed and so trampled upon that they said, we're not going to take it anymore. And they arose against the kings and they arose against the religious system. In fact, historians say that the blood flowed freely in the streets of Paris in France because they rose against the church. Is that going to happen again when the people of the world see that this system has oppressed them and has trampled upon them? Absolutely. Reckoning day will definitely come. The Bible describes this moment when God's people are in jeopardy. You remember in Daniel chapter 3 when the 3 young men were delivered from the fiery furnace? The word delivered is used several times in chapter 3. Do you remember when Daniel was delivered from the lion's den? The word delivered is used many times. Those stories are typological. In other words, those stories actually illustrate in small scale model what is going to happen at the end of time. And you say, how is that? Notice Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. Here is where you have the end time scenario of Daniel in the lion's den and the 3 young men in the fiery furnace. It says in Daniel 12 verse 1, at that time, if you look at the previous verses, it speaks about the king of the north that goes out to kill and slay God's people. It says, at that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble. Let me ask you, was the time that Daniel spent in the lion's den a time of trouble? Do you think it was a time of trouble for the 3 young men in the fiery furnace? You better believe it.